First of all, hi, Reggie Whitley here, and I'm so excited that you are joining us here on The Awakening. I am your host, huh? Huh? I said I'm your host. The man of God been elevated. Y'all don't want to testify. I said the man of God been elevated. Y'all not
Oh,
saved. Y'all fake. And I am here not by myself, but with the lovely co-host of mine, Shontal Bettis-Brown. Say hi, Shontal.
hello, everybody.
Amen. So we are so excited to be here on the season finale of The Awakening. I don't know what season this is, but it is the season finale. I forgot
You
to check.
coming for me.
I can't
You
remember.
coming.
No, I actually
Third.
don't. I really genuinely don't know if this is season
It is
three
the
or four.
third. It's
Hey
three.
man, we are here on the season finale of season three. And I am here as
Yes,
your
Lord.
host, Reggie Whitley, in case you didn't hear me the first time. And we're just gonna start off. I didn't tell Chantel like how we're gonna start off, so I hope I don't
He
catch you
didn't.
too off guard. So, Chantel, what I want to talk about first, leading up to our topic, is for those of you who don't know, I think we have had one, maybe two shows to premiere in 2022, but we actually recorded those in 2020. So this is the first recording from 2022, and we're all the way in the second month, but it's okay. So we're gonna act like we're still in a new year because it's kind of new. It's kind of new.
Yeah, it is.
So Chantel, can you tell one, maybe two lessons that you learned in 2021? And we don't want to hear
Ooh.
nothing about, you know what, I'm gonna let you do what you do.
I learned self lessons is to um enjoy life.
Amen.
Um and two, time waits for nobody.
Can you elaborate on either of those?
Um Time waits for nobody. I feel like it works hand in hand. Um we will sit after all these deaths with COVID and all these deaths with everything. It's just trying to level up. It's time to level up. It's trying to live up. It's trying to enjoy up. It's trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's trying to enjoy life. It's time.
Amen.
It's past due.
Pass
It's
due.
past due. So that's it for me. I'm just ready to. I ain't ready. I'm stepping in it. I'm doing it. I'm enjoying life.
Amen.
Yes.
Um, Reminds me before I go to mine one, maybe two, because I don't know how many I'm gonna give you. It reminds me of a TikTok that I
Him and
saw, and I
TikTok.
posted it the other day because I watch it all the time. It is my therapy. It is my friend. It is my release. It is just so good to me. It's my educator. And there was this older woman. I think she said she was 98. I mean, 89, 89. No, because I'm a little dyslexic. So I got to put my numbers where they belong. So we got the eight, and I think she was like 86, right? Don't
Mm,
ask me how I put that woman at 98 and a
I
woman was
don't want to know.
86. I wish I could tell you. I couldn't even tell you. But she was talking about, so it was so good. I don't know how the TikTok rules work, and I don't know if I could share it on here. But she was talking about how she's going to start eating dinner first. And she was, I'm just going to start eating dinner first. I mean, she's not dinner. I'm going to start eating dessert first. She's, I'm going to start eating dessert first. And she started talking about how she was getting ready to turn 80 something, and how she just looking back, she wishes she would have used the fine china while her husband was alive. She wishes that she would have used um wore the clothes that were so expensive. So she said, the clothes that I have saved for the weekend, I'm gonna put them on throughout the week. The
Mm,
shoes that I bought that were too expensive, I'm gonna wear them just around the house. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm gonna put them on because why not? And she talked about different things that she was gonna start doing today instead of waiting till tomorrow. And she said, but first, I'm gonna start by eating dessert first. And so I thought that was so good. And it goes really hand in hand with what you're saying. We should go ahead and enjoy life and all that good stuff. But that was my two. I'm gonna go to my two. I'm not gonna try to preach behind the preacher. Y'all know those preachers say get up
yeah.
and they be
Mm-hmm.
preaching, and then the preacher get up and then they re-preach what they preach, and they be like, I ain't
Mm-hmm.
trying to preach
Mm-hmm.
behind you. And I'd be like, this show look
Give
like
me
you are.
5 more minutes.
I
Mm-hmm.
got five. That was so good. I'm like, if you don't sit your
Mm-hmm.
come back
Okay.
next week. But anyway, because I ain't got no church. So Anyway, my two things. So one of them is, speaking of a church, I'm churchy. One of them is I've learned to, or how to properly forgive, and that God cannot forgive me if I don't forgive others. Shontal, I be out here thinking that I'm living a holy life. I ain't holding nobody. I don't dislike anybody. I don't hate nobody. I let people go. I don't care about people that have to hold unforgiveness. And I learned that there's some people that I hadn't forgiven back then. I was working on it in 2021. And because I didn't forgive others, God cannot forgive me. Because what does the Lord's Prayer say? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Some I can't remember all of it right now because I'm trying to get to one part, but it says, forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors, forgive our transgressions as we forgive our transgressors, forgive our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. And so that's like that's like a give and take. Like I have to do it first for you to do it for me. So that was a lesson.
That's what it
And
said.
ain't that what it say? And And the second one, because I am way too silly. And the second one is to put me first. A lot of the people feel like, and I think this is big with women. A lot of people feel like they can't put themselves first, so they feel like they're being selfish if they put themselves first. But then I learned how insane is that to think that you cannot put yourself first. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then that means that you're not going to be able to take care of other people because you are depleted or burnt out. And so I learned to put me first, my opinions. I ain't got to listen. I don't listen to people anyway, what they think I should do. But I don't have to take
always fussing at me for not listening.
Because you don't listen when you should listen. Yeah.
I thought you were going to hit me when you should, sweet love.
We're not gonna go there tonight.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so I don't really listen to people anyway, unless I ask. That's different. I don't take unsolicited advice very well, and that's a part of putting myself first because people can try to get in your head and change how you think and all of that stuff. And so I've just learned that I am of great importance, and I don't have to do things that don't make me happy. And that just segues us on into our topic. Our topic for today is self-care.
Yes.
Now, I put so much thought into how it's going to open this thing, I don't know where to go from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw it over to Shontal. What does self-care look like for you?
I think self-care look like forget what it looked like.
My God.
What it feels like. Because I feel like you can look $1 million. You can be fresh, you can be clean on the outside, but if you tired in the inside and drained and feeling like Willy Lump, I mean, what good is it gonna do? You can look good, but it ain't doing you no good. So how can you self-care? You can't self-care if you're not feeling like it in the inside. So for me, that's it. It's self-care is I actually wrote
Wait a minute
5 affirmations for myself.
My God.
And it's things that I have to I really wrote down. And it's crazy that it's funny that one of them is take care of me, but I didn't make that my first. I did, my first one was make peace with my past. Because I feel like in order to feel it in the inside, your inside has to be fixed right. You got to really get it in the inside. And so don't give up. Take care of me. It's really lasts. And it's like avoid negativity. Be happy on purpose. A lot of people fake happy. You got to be happy on purpose. You got to be happy. I woke up this morning. Lord, thank you. I'm happy. I'm appreciative. I think for me, that's what self-care is for me. It's the inside, not more than the outside, but it's the inside. Because like right now, my hair, you think you go there. Some people go there and they look at what they look like. And I had to learn, it's not what you look like that gives you the peace. Yeah, it helps. But if your inner part is stinky, and smelling like some and feeling like some, you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't get there. I'm just saying.
You know,
So,
Beyonce got that song that said "Perfection is a disease of the nation." If I'm not mistaken, it's the lyrics to it. It's called "Pretty Hurts."
I
The
don't listen
song.
to Beyonce.
You know, I don't as much. She got maybe two of them because I be,
I was just finna say, I know not you and Beyonce.
I be looking upside her head sometimes because I'm trying to live a sanctified life. And
And you
I don't play
can't
with
do it.
nobody that dabble over in that dark side. Now, I ain't saying she do, but I ain't saying she don't. But I actually haven't heard this song in many, 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 many years. But you know me, I might not remember what I ate for breakfast this morning, but I'm gonna remember a video, a song, or a TikTok, or a Vine video, or YouTube video, or a TV show, or a movie from 10, 20 years ago. And don't know why my mind works that way. But the song is so good. It's called Pretty Hurts, and she talks about how she wants to be happy and how the music video is about her being like in a pageant, and of course in pageants everybody is looking at the outside, and one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that was asked of her, in the pageants, they ask you different questions for you to win the competition, and the song opens up with the guy asking her, what is your aspiration in life? And she got stuck, she couldn't think of an answer, and she finally said, my aspiration in life is to be happy. um and it kind of went against the stereotype of pageantry and all of that. So we have a special guest. Yes, we do. Joshua Brown is in the building.
Joshua Brown finna get out the building.
Amen. And so what I liked about that was it shined a light on the fact that we put so much attention on the outside instead of
Mm-hmm.
looking at, because when I even thought of this self-care, I was thinking about the inside too, but I also went to, like, my man kept going back toward, oh, how do people do self-care? They go to the nail shop, they go and get their
Yeah.
hair done, they go to the spa, they go on drives, or whatever, they buy different clothes and stuff like that. And I was like, now I'm trying to go to the inside, but like my mind just kept going back over to the look that people
Yeah.
do, but that's not really at the core, that's not really self-care. That's just
No,
making
it's not.
yourself look like you take care of yourself,
Of yourself.
but it's not
That's it. That's
self-care.
it. That's
And
it.
that is so good.
That's it. Because you
So
have a lot of people that's going through right now, and you know, I have seen people that look like they doing good, and next thing you know, boom, they dead. Suicide. You just never know, and it's sad that you think people are happy, but really they dying inside. So, like I say, self care starts from the inside.
because that makes me think of different people like Robin Williams, America's funny man. He was just the
Mm-hmm.
one of the funniest people to get on a stage in a movie and stuff. Suicide. You have,
Yeah.
and you always hear people talk about people who die by suicide, and many of them say that they didn't see it coming, or that they thought that they looked so happy. And even not even just that, but even stuff as far as people who go through divorces, and people look at them and they're like, they look like such a happy couple.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they getting a divorce? I can't believe
Mm-hmm.
they're getting, no, this has to be fake. But it goes to show you that there's only so much that you can do for the look of things, but you can still be crumbling, and you can still fail if you don't take care of that inward, that inner man.
Yes. 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 Mm, 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 mm.
So my hope for this show is that people will get tips and learn how to go deep instead of going outward. There's something that I think people should preach on. Not that I can give people what to preach, but I think that something needs to be preached on more is the topic of church clothes. How we put on our Sunday best to go to church, and then we leave church and we bust a head wide open. Because we want people to, I mean, not we, y'all, some of you,
Thank you.
the man of God ain't out here busting head wide open. He's having
Ain't
church.
out there at all. You're good ain't either.
Hey, when he do
You
it,
would have
when he
caught me
clean
some
your,
years ago. I probably would have, but no, not now. Mm-mm.
not now, not
It's too crucial.
2022. It's crucial.
Mm-mm. It's too crucial.
And I want people to learn. So tell me, what are some things, Chantel, that you do personally And now I know, of course, for the both of us, we have to learn how to start more so self care. So the list may be short. But what are some things that you do now, if anything, that you currently do? Not that you want to do, not that you used to do, that you currently do as a mother, as a wife, as a woman who works, um, as far as self care.
The number one thing, and this is it for me, I had to learn how to function in unstable environments.
So how did you do that, and how does that tie
And when I
into
say
self care?
unfunctional environments, I would say I had to learn how to let it go. When the children hollering, they need this and they need that, and I'm feeling like, oh, Amherst, I'm tired and I'm doing this and I got this to do at work and you got this and that and a list of stuff that you want to do but you can't do because you got so many titles. I had to learn how to function with it.
So did you
I
learn to
had to,
function with it, and did you let it go healthily, or did you
yeah,
start to see
yeah,
things
because
fall
I
that
think
shouldn't fall?
I think some it's a lot of stuff did fall, and we know one of
You
them.
know, because I was sitting here saying to myself, "Ooh, she better answer right. We're gonna let her make it whatever she say, though." So thank you for being
Yeah,
honest.
so
Amen.
you know one of them, but I had to learn that it's okay to. It's not. It's it's all really about just getting yourself together, planning my day out right, planning my schedule, setting up that time, and being able to maintain it, do it, and really just flow. I'm a panic type person. When something happens, I panic, and I used to panic. Oh Lord, oh, this is now. It's like if it's out of my control, what can I do about it? So if it's unstable, if the kids got a bunch of homework and I'm trying to help them with their homework, I got stuff I need to do or whatever. I'm only one person. I can't do everything at once. And I had to learn. I don't have a cake.
Listening to you, what it seems like. So what I'm feeling like is self care has different focuses. I don't know how to word this because I just thought of it. So
It's
what
different
you're
levels.
saying, well, no, I'm saying different focuses because what you're saying is your self care that you're doing right now is focused on your mind. So
Yeah.
we have the focus on our mind, and then we have people who have self care and they focus on their heart,
hmm
forgiving or putting up healthy barriers, putting up healthy walls.
And
Um,
that's it too. And that's part of it too. And a lot of things that I feel like that I allow to come to me or come for me or just come in my dwelling, which got me off self care. It's like something can't come in unless you open the door. It's like your front door. You can't have people to come in your house if you don't open the door for them to come in your house. So I had to learn how to, when I open the door or when the door opened, I had to learn how to deal with what comes. Don't panic. Don't stress about it. Don't it's a mind thing for me. It's the biggest part. But like I say, I had to find peace with a lot of things. And so it's peace. I don't let nobody distract me. I don't let nothing, nothing. I gotta focus. I got the my peace is peace. It's my peace. I gotta protect it. So can't nobody protect it, because if I feel like if you lack, excuse me, if you lack self-worth, that means you are allowing things to come in you to make you feel worthless. Does that make sense?
yeah, and that's a good segue because I remember when I thought of this, I don't remember exactly what I saw. I remember exactly where I was. I remember where I was sitting at, and I text you about it. But my main focus, my main thing wasn't really self care, it was self worth. And I remember saying self-worth is so directly tied into self-care, because if you don't think that you're worthy of much,
Mm-hmm.
then that means you're not going to take care of yourself. You're going to stay in unhealthy relationships. You're going to keep going back. Can I? Because y'all know,
See how you open that door
I'm
to a
just
whole
going to
new
use for
chapter?
somebody that's just, I have to use this person for an example. Now, they're never going to see this podcast. I mean, they probably will, because we're national. But you know, if she does, I'm pretty sure she can agree. Can we just bring up Khloe Kardashian? Now, the woman has been with Tristan
Christian Thompson. It's Tristan
Thompson,
Thompson.
I
Yeah.
believe. Tristan Thompson, I think is his name. And he plays in some sport. I can't
Basketball.
remember. Basketball, amen. Because you know I switch these people up real fast and put him over there in hockey. So he plays basketball, and the man has gone out here and had child after child after child after child. Maybe not that many, but enough.
Oh, he done did
While
enough,
being
baby.
married, enough, more than enough, and it makes me think, and because she keeps going back, and it makes me think, okay, is she taking her vows seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Is she that dedicated to bettering her marriage and working through things and staying with her husband, or does she have a lack of self worth? Now, I personally believe that she got a lack of self worth, and I don't think nobody gonna be able to convince me otherwise. And I only use her for an example because we see so many people in these types of relationships
Yeah.
where either the um boyfriend, the fiance, or the husband keeps messing up, or the wife, the fiance, or the girlfriend keeps messing up, and you keep going back, and it comes to a point where you have to say, "What is my
Enough is
self
enough.
worth?" Also, people on jobs. You're on jobs and you're getting abused, you're getting beat down. These supervisors and
Don't
these
bring
bosses
up
are
them
treating y'all
jobs.
bad. Yeah, y'all are getting, people are getting just misused, all this stuff. And you have to sit back and say, why do I think that I'm worth this? Why do I think that I'm worth this little? To where I have
Yeah.
to stay on this horrible job, or
Or
I got to
take it or
stay in this
accept
horrible
it.
relationship. Right. And I want to kind of chime into that. So, can you explain? Have there ever been has there ever been a time where your self worth was down and you had to get it up? You were accepting something that was less than that you are able to share?
I think I'm in a situation like that right now with my
My
job.
God.
I don't care. And I'm just gonna put it out there. Truth is truth.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes people devalue you and your worth. And when you get devalued, good intentions, you think you're doing good, you think you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're trying to be helpful, and it's like the enemy comes in and bam, 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 bam. And just today, I actually had stopped and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not protecting my peace. I'm irritated. It's stuff after stuff. I'm not doing nothing to hurt nobody. It's just I'm doing the requirements. And sometimes I had to, I literally pulled over on the side of the road today and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I still working there? And we have discussed me working. And I've been saying, it's time for me to go. 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 And I think that most people stick around because, I mean, for me, I was like, well, I ain't got nothing else to do right now. So I'm going to just keep it in. And I think it's more so of a faith walk.
Because I was getting ready for you to pause so I can jump in there and say, I believe that self worth has to be married to faith.
Hmm.
Because
It
you have
does.
some people who will listen to you, and who were just listening to me, and they were saying, well, what do you think I should do? I mean, what else am I gonna do? I don't have anything else. How my bills gonna get paid? You talking about some self worth?
Yeah.
But I think that it ties into faith, because I
Yeah.
remember I was working a job. Geez, Louise, this job used to have me waking up out of my sleep. I'm talking about, my sleep don't get broke for nothing. I just need y'all to know my story. I can drink. I go to bed sometimes. A lot of times before I go to bed, I drink like a half a gallon of water. Now y'all probably saying he lying, but I promise
I
you.
can't do that.
I'm talking about I sit there and I would literally just guzzle a half a gallon of water, and I don't wake up at night. I know people who will sip water and they wake up, and I be like, "That's so I don't know what adults did that. That's childish, Chantel. Why you wake up at night to go to the
I
bathroom?
can't help it. I gotta pee.
That's
If it's
that.
coming, what you want me to
I
do? Pee
just
that
don't
bed?
know. I mean, I don't know. Ask the Lord to give you what He gave me, because I don't wake up. I mean, I wake up be having to go when I do wake up, when my alarm goes off. But in the middle of the night,
But you
no.
know, lately I have been. I can say when I drink, I do sleep good.
Oh
But
man.
that goes to say, are we? Did I allow my peace to be messed with?
Hmm.
It makes you think,
It
and I feel
does,
like I
because
did.
that's, and some people would say that's too deep. You being too extra. But no,
No, because when you
that's not.
up at night, if you up at night, I'm not gonna say it's because I drunk too much water that I'm up, but you don't get that comfortable sleep because you're not at peace
Right.
within.
And I mean, I never thought of it that way, because I literally know people who be like, I can not drink water for a couple of hours before I go to bed. And I pee before I go to bed, and I still wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, how do you get
Well, just
good
thank God
sleep?
for your kidneys.
You know,
Okay.
we're gonna thank God for them, and we're gonna pray good kidneys upon all of those who are listening, so y'all don't wake up in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom. But I said that to say, don't nothing really wake me up. You know, I can sleep through some stuff. Um, I'm a pretty light sleeper, so I don't know. I think that God be waking me up when the certain stuff be going on, and I need to hear it, because I mean, like a storm can be outside. I'm gonna sleep clean through it. But let
Me too.
somebody be walking from one room to another. I'm talking about tiptoeing, and I'm gonna wake up immediately. Um,
Oh,
I mean, not in my house though, because I live alone. And so I don't wake up for anything, but this job had me waking up out of my sleep. I'm talking about I was waking up having nightmares, and I don't have nightmares. I had nightmares about the job. I mean, I had anxiety. I didn't want to clock in. I was just like, oh, I ain't never prayed so
mm,
much in my life
mm.
being on that job. And one day I had to say, is it worth it? Because you don't have any peace. And I think that people, and a faith thing for me was saying, it's not worth it. Let's just let's just end this. I don't really
This,
have
yeah.
no plan. But we just going to have to go ahead and end this. And I think that more people, I would say, I believe if more people had more self worth, even in the area of employment, that employers would treat their employees better.
That's it.
Because if we had more people who had more self worth, I mean, look at it. If we had more
Hmm.
self worth and we stood up to employers, they would
Yeah.
have to treat employees better. If we had more self worth and boldness and we stood up to the government, they would have to treat us better, because y'all
Hmm.
know this American government don't treat us right. If we had more self worth and we stood up to people in our families and we stood up to, because self worth will make you say, I'm not. I mean, that's just some stuff. Shontal just called me a little while ago. We've been on here for 38 minutes before editing. So she called me about 42 minutes ago. And do you know what she did? Ring, ring. And I picked up the phone and I said hello. And she got to talking. And I looked and I said, she didn't speak to me. I said that to myself.
And he do this all the time.
And the sad thing is, I have to do it all the time because she ain't learned yet. And I said, I don't care how busy you are, you gonna have to speak to me. And then she said, hello, Reggie. And I said, hello, Chantel. Now you are allowed to start over. You're not gonna call me and just start talking. So,
So he's
you know,
protecting his peace. He's
I'm
protecting himself.
protecting my peace because you're gonna respect me. Now she's a little, because everybody else
Y'all,
got it but her. She's the one who still do it. But you, I
because you
mean,
know
just the
why?
small. Y'all don't want to know on here. I don't want you to tell me on here. But
I
you better
just,
lie.
that's
You
just,
better lie.
no, I'm not
I'm
finna
listening.
lie. That's just how me and my family, that's just how we
I ain't
move.
your family. I ain't them.
I,
My
yeah,
name, my
yeah,
last name Whitley. I ain't a Bettis.
yeah, I ain't no Bettis. What?
Did you just say
I'm
you're
a
not a
Bettis by
Bettis?
blood, but baby, I am a Brown. Hello, okay.
But you can't discredit your blood though, girl. See what I'm saying, Lord? And you know you got Bettis that been watching the show. I ain't saying
And I
Bettis.
love my Bettis family, but I'm just saying
Jesus.
we
You
don't
finna
talk
get
all the
yourself
time. But
canceled.
I'm just saying. Sometimes it's just a habit. It's a habit I do need to break. But when I'm
Amen.
comfortable with people like you,
Don't
I
get that
consider you a
comfortable with me.
brother.
Don't get that
See,
comfortable.
I consider you as a brother. So when I call, I just instantly start talking, and it's a habit.
And the
But
thing is, sometimes if she got a lot to say, I'll let her say it. Because I ain't disrespectful. I ain't going to interrupt. Go ahead and say what you got to say. If you got 5 minutes to talk, you talk that 5 minute talk. And when you get done talking, I'm going to say, you didn't speak to me. And
and
then when
do
she speak, I'm going to say, now you got to start over because I wasn't listening.
listen,
Because
do.
you have to have people to because I think I deserve hello, hey, how you doing? So even the
And the sad
small
part is,
things
hold on,
is
y'all. Let's
sad.
let's
What's sad
rewind this
about it?
because he protects his peace. Because I can talk to him like early in the day and call him later in the day or
Oh, she got to
discuss him
speak
later in the
again.
day, and I got to speak again.
She
So
got to
is
speak
it me?
again.
Is it me or is it him?
Issue, issue.
I need some
Anybody
people
who
to.
say it ain't, you gonna get blocked on here.
I
I'm the one
need
run
some
this
people to
channel.
give me the feedback because it's like he's just extra for no
But you
reason.
know,
I'm
I've been
just
like
saying.
that since I was a little boy. When I was a little boy, I remember me and my mom and dad to say together. Me and my
That's
mom
why
used to
I'm
go
worried
to
about Joshua.
Walmart. Bless his soul. We went to Walmart. Like we could go to the store and we could come back like an hour later. And I'd be like, "Hey, Dad," and he'd be like looking at me like,
I done
"Hey,
seen you
son,
today, boy.
but you gonna speak again? Because I'm gonna speak again. It's respect. I was taught that you speak to people. You know, I'm a
When you
son.
walk in the room.
You know,
But
so
you
the
protect your
small
self worth
things.
and self peace very good. I
I
can say.
try my best. I try my best.
But
Because even protecting your self-worth and peace is also goes into you don't have to always pick up the phone for people. And I ain't throwing no shade.
and that's what I was just gonna say.
Amen.
I was just gonna say, and when you have to, it's what you allow, and you're good at that. You don't allow, so when you allow, it comes. It's okay.
Because
It's
I
okay.
think people need to learn how to. So I ain't saying that I'm like a master of this thing because I'm not, but I'm pretty good at it. So even people like, certain things you can't control. So certain people I go around or whatever, there are people who are good conversationalists. And so I can sit on the phone and talk to them, but then they'll get to um so what you've been doing today, I'm not about to be in my business. So, I know how to get off the phone. So, it's not to say you gotta cut everybody off, but you have to learn how to either train these people, and I don't like to use the word train because I always say when I think train I think of a
Mm-hmm.
dog, but I mean
Mm-hmm.
it is a definition. You got to learn how to train people how to deal with you,
And
and you
that's
also
okay.
have to learn because you don't have to, like Shontal just said, what I do my family like that. Okay, but I'm not that. So you have people who will say, and I ain't trying to like use one of example here, but you do have people who will say stuff like, "Well, I do this everywhere else. I talk to everybody else like this. I treat everybody else up, but I'm not that. You know, ain't nobody else gonna say nothing to you, but you ain't gonna do it to me." And that's a part of protecting your self peace. Your
Mm-hmm.
learning what you're worth. Maybe they're not as worthy
And,
of
and I'm gonna
respect
piggyback.
or
I'm
whatever.
gonna go back to something. The whole Khloe Kardashian thing.
My God.
I think.
Yeah, Chloe. Yeah, I had to make
Okay.
sure we called the right one name.
Yeah, it's Chloe because I
Do
I
we have
used
to
to
say
watch the Kar-
allegedly? Because Cardi B just got all that money off that blogger. So everything that we've said has been alleged. Because I don't know if it's been proved yet.
alleged. I respect
I'm laying
her
on
and
him.
I like her.
Hmm.
I like how she has went through a lot and how she, overcame a lot. And sometimes I don't think so much, when you're dealing with baby daddies
My God.
and you're dealing with um baby mamas and stuff like
My
that,
God.
and even family period. I think sometimes it's not the self. I think it's really just you want to have that family oriented lifestyle, especially if that's what you used to. And I think a lot of people tend to not understand it's okay to break tradition.
But I want to say too there, with that, everybody. won't look at it the same because everybody don't have the same traditions. Everybody don't have the same
Right.
family backgrounds. Everybody
Right.
doesn't have the same. So you have to understand that there are some people who may not, because I mean, just still you, since we brought it up, Caesar, for example, speaking when you call me, because you may not have ever had anybody to say you have to speak to me because everybody
Yeah.
else may think that it's normal to not
Mm-hmm.
speak. And
Mm-hmm.
so you have to learn
It's you.
something new.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fine. Because
okay.
we gonna teach it's gonna help you in the long run. There's somebody that's gonna bust you in your mouth if you don't speak to them. Because I'll be want to jump through the phone myself. Um,
Oh,
but you
Lord
have to
help me.
teach people because I think that we cannot expect. Because I want to say too about this self worth and all that stuff. We cannot expect people to treat. There's a saying to say, "I cannot expect myself from other people."
Mm,
And
it.
so
That's it.
we have to get to that point, but at the same time, there's a limit there. There's a line. Like you cannot expect yourself from somebody else, but at the same time, you don't have to accept who they are or how they are. If they are narcissists, if they are
Mm-hmm.
toxic, if they're just not good for you, for your mind, for your mental
Yeah.
capacity and your energy, then you don't have to accept them. It's not saying that I want you to be just like me. I want you to do what I do. I want you to
Yeah.
think how I think. Because it's good to have a diversity, but that doesn't mean that you have to accept other people. People be saying you got to accept people where they are. And I just strongly disagree with that. Because first of all, I don't have to accept you, period. I'm talking about period. When I say period, when I say I got to accept you, I'm talking about I don't care if you're related to me. I don't care if you work with me. I don't care if we see each other every day.
What would Jesus do?
Jesus, I think he'll cut these people off. I ain't, I ain't never seen Jesus fool with somebody here. Like I ain't seen it.
Mm,
Or he delivers them. Because we wrestle not against flesh and blood,
but
but
against
against
principles,
principalities,
principalities, and
powers, rulers of
darkness.
darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places.
So I think that goes back to that too. A lot of it goes to that. I think that I'm just really thinking because he loved everybody.
He did. But the thing is,
So when you say meet people halfway, so that's just like if you meet a crackhead off the street and it might be some good in that crackhead, but they don't know how to, they don't have that, they don't have that drive to become
you got a
a
crackhead ministry.
non-crackhead. What?
You got a crackhead ministry.
I ain't
The
got no
Lord calling you
crackhead,
to
bitch.
the
I'm
I'm saying is
just
he
saying,
calling you to the crackhead.
I'm
Because we
example.
gotta
This is
have
example.
somebody that's called to the crackhead.
I know, cause I can't. I don't know if I could
Judge
deal with them.
Mathis ain't gonna do it because he gonna talk about it. He'll
Yeah,
spot
see,
him
I
out.
don't know. Yeah, see, I'm just saying it's different. I
But
think
I
it's
think
different.
with that, I don't. That's not a Bible scripture though. That's not a scripture that says you have
Meeting
to meet
people
people
halfway.
halfway. I've never seen that. I don't think
I
that. But I do say I agree with Jesus loved everybody, but we have to. This reminds me of a podcast from somebody that I don't really agree with things that they do and say anymore, so I can't say it on here. But they were in the right when they were talking about this podcast because they were talking about how
excuse me.
you don't have to. So let me put it this way. People always say that the Bible says you have to love everybody. And I know a lot of people who be saying, well, the Bible says I gotta love you. Don't say I gotta like you. And I so disagree with that. Although the Bible didn't say that you have to like everybody, it's really hard to love a person unconditionally with agape love without liking them. So I think that it is good to love and like. I thought long and hard try to think of somebody I don't like, and I can't think of anybody. And there's a lot of people that might deserve it. I might not like your characteristics, I might not like your traits, I might not like certain things about you,
Hmm.
but there's some good in you, so I like you. I just don't
Yeah,
like these things about you. And I think that we
right.
have to get out of the mindset of thinking just because I love you, or just because the Bible says that I have to love you and I want to like you, means that I have to have you in close proximity to me. If this person is constantly beating you upside the head, if this person is constantly abusing you
And
emotionally, if this person is
bleeding on
constantly
you and toxic.
lying to you, bleeding on you, lying on you, it doesn't mean that you have to forgive them and bring them back in. It doesn't mean that you have to keep saying, come back into my circle, come back into my
Right.
space. No, you can love them, you can forgive them, but to protect your peace, you have to say, am I worth being lied to all the time? Every time this person opens
Right.
their mouth, they lie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna love you and all that stuff. You need anything, let me know. Um, but I'm not gonna have a close relationship with you. And
Right.
people have to get out of the mindset of thinking that they have to stay close with people who are not good for them and who don't have
Their
there
best
are so many
interest.
people who are so selfish and they only think about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we know these people. And a lot of times we keep ignoring it. You know, Oprah always says, and I think she quotes somebody else, when a person shows you who they are, I think she quoted Maya Angelou or no, whichever it is. I
Believe
can't
them.
remember. When a person believe them the first time, that's the important part. Why do they have to keep showing you and showing you and showing you for you to realize, oh, this person ain't good for me. Oh, this is a bad person. You know, there's people who literally say, I have a bad attitude. Why would you continue to have a relationship with them when they introduce themselves and I have a bad? That's not something to be proud of. I don't want to deal with
Right.
anybody with a bad attitude. I'm going to separate from that. So people need to learn the art, I believe, of separation because I think that it is an art because there's different ways to do it, and it doesn't have to be hurtful. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be hurtful. I also want to say about the Chloe thing, and I'm going to turn it back over to you. I also want to say about the Chloe thing. Y'all do know because I did say maybe she's taking her vows very seriously, and some of you may be in that kind of situation now, where he or she in which you are married, who are just out here thing like the thing is hanging. You know, the Bible does say in Matthew 19 and 9,
Bring it out. Bring us the word.
right? You know, I give you the word after I do something like that. Um, and this is the what is this, English Standard Version. And I say unto you, whoever divorces his wife except sexual immortality and marries another commits adultery. Now, y'all can break that down if you want to, all of it. But I want to just point out that it says except for sexual immortality. So that means, when it comes to sexual immortality, look like to me. A divorce is okay. That's all I want to say. Because a lot of people be thinking you got to stay with these jokers to death do you part. Um, when they see, I just don't believe that some people be like, I
And
messed
that's
up.
how
I,
they
I
kill
had an
it.
accident. You'd
And
had no
that's why
accident
so many women have low self-esteem.
because they think that they have to stay in this because it goes back to self-worth. And then
Yeah.
that's why it's tied into faith. Because so many women have relationships where they depend on the man. And believe it or not, there are some men who that joker that had no house when you met him. That joker that had no car when you met him. They ain't
Mm-hmm.
got nothing. They living with you. And now you have it set up to where they are dependent upon you. But if
Mm-hmm.
you do them wrong, they feel like, well, I can't leave because if I leave, where am I going to go? And that's where the lack of faith comes in
Yeah.
because some people have self worth in the back of their mind. Okay, I'm sitting here and I know what she out there doing. I'm sitting here and I know what he out there doing, but I'm going to stay anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't deserve this. I'm too good for this, but where am I gonna go? And that's
Yeah.
where faith comes in because y'all
Mm-hmm.
gotta listen. I ain't trying to tell y'all getting no divorce. Man, God, and if you're trying to break up no homes, but if this hitting, you ain't happy anyway. So do what you want to do. Go ahead, Shontal.
Love yourself. Just love yourself. That's all I
Justin
gotta
Bieber
say.
got a song that says you gotta love yourself. I'm gonna listen to it
Just
when I
love
get off of
yourself.
here because y'all know I
It's
likes the Justin Bieber.
just love yourself. And I think, and like you say, it go hand in hand. And I think really a lot of it is generational curses. Some people stay together for the wrong reasons, like you say, whether it be because my granddaddy, we got a lot of people around here that's cousins. and brothers and sisters, because the granddaddy was around here sleeping with the mama and the
Papa
sister.
was a
I mean, let's just be real
rolling
about it.
stone.
And
But
I
it's
mean,
not just generational curses. I will say too, with some people, it's the fact that what they saw was
oh,
so good.
oh,
My mom and dad stayed together for 50 years and they still go, not my personally, because mine ain't even 50. And they've been together all this, they ain't never got a divorce. So I didn't grow up with divorce. So divorce ain't a thing for me. It's not an option. That's not a generational curse, but it's a generational blessing for one generation. But it has plagued, I think, another generation because now they're saying, now I can't get a divorce because the standard
that's it.
didn't get a
Yeah.
divorce.
Yes. Yes.
But maybe the
That's
standard
it.
didn't go through what you went through, or maybe the standard went
Exactly.
to God for their
Exactly.
spouse, and you didn't go to God. You went to the man.
Exactly. Exactly. And
What
so,
revelation did you get, Chantel?
and the revelation that I got is it's basically like when people do that, and like you said, it's not a generate. It goes back to, if you know it's wrong, why make excuses for it to be right? Let's just be real about it. If you know it's wrong, if it was anybody else, and if it was the tables would turn, and it goes back to the conversation we had where we was talking about what was that podcast? New friends, or how people don't allow people in their circle, like new people. And if that's all they know, that's all they're gonna get. If you don't know how it really is to be a one woman's, a man's one and only, or how if a woman's cheated, a man cheating on a woman cheating on, or whatever, if all you have seen is that environment, you're gonna think it's okay.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people jacked up too, because they boxed in a box where it's okay, and they got excuses for. Because prime example, I'm gonna just bring up this, and he might kill me after, but I'm gonna take it.
Don't let them kill
'Cause
you. We're not gonna see it's gonna kill you.
I know, because I don't think I paid the life insurance policy for this month, so we can't let him
Girl,
do that.
don't play with me because I'm girl.
But let
That's
me
why
say
I
this.
keep your husband on my good side. And I try to stay on his just in case. Hey man, somebody
See
gonna
how
break
he
a
do
brother
me,
off
y'all?
some.
See how he do me?
I'm not promoting
But
it. I'm just
I'm
saying the
gonna
wealth of
say
the
this.
wicked is laid up for the just.
We had a conversation, and we was talking about how he's he don't fool with a lot of people. He's not like if you see him, you would be like, he ain't friendly at all. And they be like, oh, he just stay to himself. And if I come over, he just say, hey, he goes to his room, and da-da-da. And I was like, you don't think something wrong with that? He don't have no against nobody, but he don't like dealing with people. It's like he don't like dealing with people. And I told him, I said, but that don't make it justified. That don't make it right. Just because that's what you used to, that don't make it right. And some people are just boxed in into their family or in their lifestyle, and they just used to it. It is what it is.
And I think that people like that, because how do you have, I think in my personal experience, when it comes to self care, I think that you have to, one of my biggest, and I'll just put it this way, one of my biggest forms of self care is having friends. Friends who I don't, I have friends who I don't talk to every day. I have friends
Yeah.
who I go months without talking to. And when we finally talk, or I have one friend, we go like years, it look like. And then all of a sudden I just get a FaceTime and I'd be like, what? And I mean, it's just like, no time has passed. And that's one of my forms of self care. And I think that people like that have a struggle as far as if I could go into their minds and see how they think and see what they deal with, I think they have more going on in their minds than
Mm-hmm.
others, because where do you release it? Another thing that I was thinking about while you were talking, because I don't want it to seem like we're only talking about relationships, um so I want to chime in onto some more stuff too. But one of the things that I was thinking about when you were talking is so many people care about what other people think. We can say that about marriages and stuff because that ties into you got to stay with a person and y'all get dressed alike. and y'all be having matching colors and matching Jordans and take the pictures and put them on Instagram and go on your trips and be happy go lucky at the events and everything because you want to keep up the facade of a happy relationship. You care about what people think. But when you get out of the habit, and I've done this too, like I care so little. My God, I wish I could get y'all to understand how little I care. I want you to think about the smallest thing that you can think about. And I'm just only going to take a moment for this example. I'm thinking about a grain of dirt. You know, a lot of people may think a grain of sand, but have you seen a single grain of dirt? I haven't, because it's just that small. A single grain of dirt is just that small. That is a mountain compared to how much I care about somebody. That's how little I care about what people think. And that for me is a form of self care. Because when we have a life where we're just so concerned with everybody, what people think about us, you know, I have a
Mm-hmm.
friend who was talking about, so at one point I was talking about trading my car in. And I was talking about the kind of car that I wanted and everything. And I said, you know what? It makes no sense for me to trade it in right now. This is not a good market to buy a car right now. I said I'm gonna wait a while because what am I gonna do anyway? And he said to me, say, yeah, it's not like first of all, I ain't got a bad car, but I was talking about like upgrading to something else. And so he was like, yeah, it's not like you need that car that you wanted to pull up at the event. And I was like, oh, you thought I wanted to upgrade to that so I could show people and they be impressed. Pull up at what event? I want us to think about these kinds of things. You don't need that to pull up to the event that you just made up in your head, because there ain't no event. What's the event? And so when we get to the point of caring at all what other people think, we try to do everything to make them pleased. We try to do everything to make them happy. We try to do everything to appease them. You know, we want that shock factor. You know, that's why that
Mm-hmm.
man put that spit in that man's face, because he wanted the shock factor. And, you know, trying to get that is just such a, it comes back and it bites us in the butt sometimes, because you're trying to get your happiness from others. You're trying to get your self worth from the reaction of others. When really and
Mm-hmm.
truly, when the sun goes down and everybody goes home, those people aren't thinking about you.
Look, ain't nobody
And
gonna help you pay that bill.
at all. And so we go into debt trying to buy all fancy clothes, trying to buy all these name brands. uh, I gotta stop saying we. I just don't be want to put y'all out there, but I ain't doing it. So y'all, you know, my words are powerful. So y'all go into debt,
Cause
whoever this
y'all
is
want to be
applicable
relevant.
for, because y'all want to be relevant. You want to be hot and popping. You know, you want to be out here. You want to
And
have
put
you a
that
hot
word to
girl
him.
summer, and they say I can't have a hot girl summer wearing a Walmart hoodie. I mean, you
And
can
be
if it's
not
summertime and
conformed
you.
to the world, but be ye transformed. I'm
She
trying to
know
tell
a
you.
word.
I know a word now.
She know a word.
I'm ready.
And that plays into knowing who you are. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to touch on that, because a lot of people don't know who they are because they put their self worth in so many people and in so many things. We put our self worth in society and the opinions of our family and our jobs and what we have. And when we lose these things, we feel like we're worthless, and we feel like y'all feel like y'all are worthless. Those who this is applicable to, because you put your worth in things, but you don't really know who you are. And so many people have lived their lives trying to make sure that other people are happy and trying to make sure that everything is
Yeah.
good. And you don't have high self worth because you don't have an identity. Your
And you
identity
know
is
what?
based on everybody else.
One of the things that I remember when I first started to, because I didn't know who I was, and I for a long time I fought against it, and I didn't know my purpose. I
It's
didn't know
so
my
funny. I
purpose,
was sure so that y'all know my next book, I think, because, you know, who knows when I'm going to put it out there. I talked about it in my
and he
last book,
didn't
you know, my
tell me this.
purpose. I did not. Well, no, actually, she should know. If she bought my first book and she
I mean,
read
but
it, she would
I'm
see.
saying
But this wasn't
your
planned, so
right.
she didn't know I was
So
going to talk. Because I was sitting here thinking about, oh, this will be good to go in the book because the book is about purpose.
Yeah,
And
I didn't
people
know my
don't know their
purpose.
purpose.
I
We'll
didn't
have to
know
talk
my
about
purpose,
that.
and
Should
for a
you get
long
renewed
time,
for next season, we're going to talk about purpose.
and I didn't know. I didn't know. I really did not know. I thought that I was here for uh, to just work, uh, be just. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know what exactly. I was like, God, why did you? I know you had a plan for me, and so that's what made me fall in love with Jeremiah 29:11. That was the first thing that I learned because it helped me to know what was my purpose. What is my plan? What do he have me here for? And when you don't know that, I feel like at the same time, you can't have self-worth if you don't know who you are. You don't know how capable you are. You don't know how of a big person you are. You don't know who you are. You don't know how good you are. You don't know how high your standards is. You don't even know. I had to tell myself for the longest, and I actually started this organization that I have dropped the ball on
My God.
called Daughters of the Most High. And that's where it came from. When I learned who I was, I am a daughter of the Most High. I can do whatever I want to do because my daddy, hello,
Come on.
is sitting on high.
Won't he
And
sit on
he
high?
had
And he
plans
looked
for
down
me.
low, my God.
And, hello. And he had plans for me. So when you don't know your purpose, and I think a lot of people are walking around to this day, 50 and 60 years old, and still don't know their purpose in life.
You know,
What
statistically, the majority of people who are alive have admitted when they do polls and studies and stuff, and they have done this and asking people, do you know your purpose? Every single time, the majority of people say, no, I do not know my purpose. Because
yeah, you know?
a lot of people don't know who they are. A lot of people don't know their purpose because they don't know themselves. And a lot of people don't know themselves because they try to get it and learn it from other people. And that
Mm-hmm.
is something that you cannot go outward to find. You can
Mm-mm.
do
That's an
things.
inward thing.
Yeah, and you can do things to learn because you won't know if you like heights until you go skydiving or something. I'm sure it's the easier way to find out if you like heights, but you know what I'm saying. So there are certain things that you can do to discover what you like and all that stuff. But as it pertains to like who you are at the core, people will try to tell us, and it starts when you think about it. It starts so early because you start to get programmed as soon as you start going to school, if not before
Man,
then.
as
But
soon
I
as you
know as soon
come
as you start
out,
going to school,
they program
I
these kids.
think that it is before that. Now that I'm thinking about it, because there are people who don't even know. So, do you know that there are people who have discovered that, like, they paid attention? And so I know this one thing. This one person wanted a son so bad. He and his wife got pregnant. And he would always say, "My little boy, my little boy, my little boy," but it was a girl. And she ended up coming out having very manly mannerisms, manly features, and she was attracted to women. And he said, I wonder, does that have anything to do with? I would always say, because y'all know words do have power, and you speak
Mm-hmm.
these things. So he would say, I would always say, my little boy. And so, you can start programming, and that's just a very extreme example, but you can start programming your children before they're even born. Because really and truly, when you have a child, 9 times out of 10, you're already thinking about what they're gonna do, what they're gonna like,
What they're
what
gonna
they're
be
gonna
like.
be like, what they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
wear, how they're gonna be, who they're gonna hang out with, and that is okay to a point, but
But it's like you stereotyping your own seed.
you're trying to force them into what
Yeah.
you want them to be. And now you have many who are adults who have been forced all their childhood into a certain mold. And now they're struggling. Did y'all know a lot of people are struggling inwardly, not because of the actual circumstances around them as they think they are, but because they are still trying to hold on to what they've been told to be, who they've been told to be,
Mm-hmm.
and they're fighting who they really are on the inside. That's
Mm-hmm.
many of you today, but
Yeah.
we're not here for heart to heart
That's a whole nother podcast.
because we've been on for an hour.
That's a discussion.
It is.
So today I just want to say I want to thank you, Reggie, for this conversation. in this topic because
Because this is
it
the
is
first
well
time that I've
needed.
given a topic on since I've been on here. This is the first.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
the
like,
first time he
I
gave me the
just normally
topic, and I
just
was like,
show up with a
okay.
ring, like we're like, let's whatever you're gonna go. But I do have her to tell me like the topic beforehand because I always tell her I don't want to embarrass you because the certain stuff I just ain't
It'd
gonna
be
talk
too
about.
late. It'd
Oh,
be too late for the embarrassment sometimes.
because I still get on here and be talking crazy.
I wish I had my tambourine or your tambourine.
Because I don't make me pull up the app because y'all got a tambourine now because I'm that saved. When they hit me, I just go to.
So with that being said, I'm going to end with my personal nugget. If you don't know Jeremiah 29:11, I advise you to learn it.
Amen. And I will
Because
end
it will
with
help
my
you.
personal nugget. I didn't know we were doing that, but I'll end with my personal nugget. Let these people go.
Oh, and by the way, I actually have a thing that's coming. Let these people talk. You don't have to be on their level. You don't have to be on their center. You don't have to do this or do that. Let them talk. Okay. That's all I got to say.
What does that mean? Oh, let them talk about you and you not clap back.
Let them think you
I
be
don't
you.
think I'm there yet.
Be happy on purpose.
You said some crazy. I might say some crazy back. That's the advice she gave
No,
y'all.
we finna go.
I'm a.
Thank y'all for
So
tuning in to the awakening.
excuse you.
Look, thank
I'm the
y'all for
host.
tuning in to the awakening because he
I'm the
will be
host.
going off on y'all folks.
Thank you for
Not
tuning
me,
in.
but y'all
Because
folks.
I ain't went off. I ain't go off today.
No, you ain't go off
I've
today.
been pretty good.
Pretty
Amen.
good.
Thanks for tuning in to the Awakening, the season finale, season 3 finale of the Awakening. My God, it's been a while. My God, it took a lot for us to get here. My God, we gotta discuss if she's coming back for season 4. Thank you so much.
And I'm coming
Enjoy
back,
this one.
y'all. I know. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Kisses. Okay. Have a
I
blessed
bet
one.
you won't be back just because you said it. Goodbye.
Oh, see how you threatened me